Do you know the actual difference between how millionaires read and how the average person reads? It's not about quantity, it's about strategic selection. While most people read for entertainment, millionaires consistently choose books that transform their financial thinking. In this video, I've analyzed the reading habits of over 100 self-made millionaires to identify the 7 most influential books they credit for their success. These aren't just inspirational texts. They contain specific frameworks that have directly led to wealth creation. If you've been reading without seeing financial results, you're about to discover what you've been missing. What if I told you that one book written nearly a century ago has created more millionaires than any university program? Think and Grow Rich, published in 1937 by Napoleon Hill, isn't just another self-help book. It's a wealth blueprint that has transformed ordinary people into financial titans for generations. Napoleon Hill didn't just write a theory about success. He spent 20 years interviewing over 500 of the most successful people of his era, including titans like Andrew Carnegie, Henry Ford, and Thomas Edison. What makes this book different is that Hill wasn't just collecting inspirational stories. He was methodically identifying the exact principles these wealth creators used repeatedly. Here's where most readers get it wrong. They pick up Think and Grow Rich, expecting a feel-good book about positive thinking. But millionaires recognize it as something far more powerful, a systematic framework for achievement with precise steps that create predictable results. The book outlines 13 principles that separate the wealthy from everyone else. But the most transformative might be what Hill calls the mastermind alliance, the strategic formation of relationships with others who possess knowledge and resources you lack. What's fascinating is how millionaires apply these principles differently than casual readers. Take the concept of definiteness of purpose. While most people interpret this as simply having goals, millionaires like Bob Proctor, who famously went from janitor to multimillionaire, use it as a daily practice, writing their financial objectives every morning and evening until they become completely fixed in their subconscious mind. The book's 6-step method for transmuting desire into financial gain is where the real wealth-building power lies. These steps aren't suggestions, they're a precise formula that millionaires follow religiously. First, fix in your mind the exact amount of money you desire. Second, determine exactly what you intend to give in return for the money. Third, establish a definite date when you intend to possess the money. Fourth, create a definite plan and begin at once. Fifth, write out a clear, concise statement of the previous 4 steps. Sixth, read your written statement aloud twice daily. Perhaps the most overlooked aspect of the book is Hill's concept of organized planning. Millionaires don't just dream about wealth. They create detailed roadmaps with specific actions, contingency plans, and measurable milestones. Research suggests that 97% of people never develop this level of detailed planning for their financial future. What separates those who merely read this book from those who build wealth with it comes down to a single word: application. The principles work, but only when systematically applied over time. That's why millionaires don't just read Think and Grow Rich once and put it on a shelf. They study it repeatedly, using it as a reference guide throughout their wealth-building journey. Application matters. But what if the financial principles you're applying are fundamentally wrong? While thinking positively and setting goals are important, there's another book that has forced countless millionaires to completely rebuild their financial understanding from scratch. When Robert Kiyosaki asked, "What is an asset?" in his 1997 bestseller, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, his answer shocked millions and completely transformed how future wealth builders view their finances. The genius of Kiyosaki's approach lies in the contrasting perspectives of 2 father figures: his highly educated biological father, who struggled financially despite his credentials, and his friend's entrepreneurial father, who built wealth through strategic investments. This comparison isn't just a storytelling device. It's a powerful framework that challenges conventional wisdom about wealth creation. With a remarkable 4.115 rating on Goodreads, this book continues to reshape financial mindsets decades after its publication. Most readers get caught up in the compelling narrative, but Millionaires zero in on the book's revolutionary concept, the definition of assets versus liabilities. Kiyosaki boldly states that true assets put money into your pocket while liabilities take money out. Period. This single distinction forces readers to reconsider everything they own. That dream home with the massive mortgage? That luxury car with the hefty payment? According to Kiyosaki, these aren't assets. They're draining your wealth potential month after month. Self-made millionaire Luke Lintz, CEO of High Key Agency, attributes his financial transformation to this precise concept. The contrasting mentalities of the rich dad versus the poor dad provided him with invaluable insights that fundamentally changed his approach to money management during his formative years. This isn't just theoretical, it's a practical framework that successful people consistently implement. Beyond the asset-liability distinction, Kiyosaki introduces the cash flow quadrant, a simple but profound system categorizing how people earn money, as an employee, E, self-employed S, business owner, B, or investor, I. Millionaires recognize that real financial freedom comes from positioning yourself in the right quadrants. While most people remain trapped in the E and S quadrants, trading time for money, the wealthy focus on building businesses and investment portfolios that generate passive income. What makes this book particularly powerful is Kiyosaki's emphasis on financial education. The most powerful asset we all have is our mind, he writes. If it is trained well, it can create enormous wealth. Focusing on developing financial intelligence, rather than just working harder, explains why this book has become required reading for aspiring millionaires. Kiyosaki's insight about the mind as our greatest asset leads us to a surprising revelation. 71% of millionaires attribute their success not to financial strategies, but to something more fundamental: personal effectiveness principles. While many books focus on what to do with your money, Stephen Covey's The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People focuses on something far more valuable: who you need to become. Think about this. What separates this book from typical self-help literature is its character-based approach. Most readers flip through looking for quick tips, but millionaires recognize it as the essential operating system for high-achievement thinking. It's not just another book on your shelf. It's the foundation that makes all other wealth strategies actually work. The first 3 habits form what Covey calls the private victory, the internal work that creates the foundation for all external success. Being proactive, beginning with the end in mind, and putting first things first establish the self-mastery and discipline that wealth creation demands. These habits build the resilience required to navigate financial setbacks that derail most people's wealth-building journeys. Millionaires don't just understand the second habit, begin with the end in mind. They apply it religiously to their finances. They create detailed visions of their financial future that guide every daily decision. By constantly reviewing and adjusting these visions, they make informed choices aligned with their ultimate objectives, maintaining motivation even when faced with immediate obstacles. The fourth habit, think win-win, transforms how millionaires build business relationships. Rather than viewing wealth as a competitive game, they seek collaborative solutions that multiply everyone's potential. This creates stronger partnerships and more resilient business networks than what purely competitive strategies could ever achieve. When millionaires consistently practice the fifth habit, seek first to understand, then to be understood, they gain a remarkable advantage in negotiations. By truly comprehending others' needs before expressing their own position, they build trust and close deals that competitors miss. This single habit frequently makes the difference between good and exceptional business outcomes. The seventh habit, sharpen the saw, explains why wealthy individuals invest so heavily in continuous learning and self-renewal. They understand that maintaining their physical energy, mental sharpness, and spiritual centeredness isn't a luxury. It's essential for sustained success. This commitment to ongoing improvement ensures they remain adaptable and innovative as markets evolve. What truly sets millionaires apart is how these habits transform their fundamental approach to life, moving from reactive to proactive thinking, from short-sighted decisions to long-term vision, and from mere independence to the more powerful state of interdependence. This shift creates the mental framework that makes sustainable wealth possible. That interdependence I mentioned earlier isn't just a philosophical concept. It's the hidden engine of wealth creation. What if I told you that while most people obsess over financial strategies, 65% of millionaires are quietly mastering something entirely different? They've discovered that the path to millions runs directly through other people. And there's one book that has become their relationship blueprint. Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People might seem like an unlikely addition to a millionaire's bookshelf. After all, it doesn't discuss investment strategies or business models. Yet this 1936 classic has become essential reading for wealth builders who understand a fundamental truth. Your net worth is often directly tied to your network. Think about this. Technical skills and market knowledge can only take you so far. What truly separates the wealthy from everyone else is their ability to build authentic connections that create exponential opportunities. Carnegie's book isn't teaching superficial charm. It's providing a framework for social capital that compounds more reliably than any stock market investment. The wealthy apply Carnegie's principle of becoming genuinely interested in other people, not as a manipulation tactic, but as a wealth-building strategy. When you truly listen to others and demonstrate genuine curiosity about their needs and perspectives, you create trust that forms the foundation of business opportunities most people never access. This isn't just being nice, it's strategic relationship building that creates doors where others see only walls. One of the most powerful techniques millionaires extract from Carnegie's work is letting the other person feel the idea is his or hers. This approach transforms potential resistance into enthusiastic cooperation. Instead of forcing their vision on others, wealthy individuals frame ideas in ways that appeal to others' needs and perspectives, creating natural buy-in without friction. Perhaps most surprising is how something as simple as remembering and using someone's name, what Carnegie calls the sweetest sound, becomes a competitive advantage in business contexts. The wealthy understand that this small act of respect creates a personal connection that differentiates them in a world of transactional relationships. First impressions become opportunities, and opportunities become wealth. The book's guidance on avoiding arguments proves particularly valuable for millionaires focused on preserving beneficial relationships. While average readers might see this as advice for maintaining friendships, wealth builders recognize it as a strategy for protecting the connections that generate ongoing financial opportunities. While relationships build the foundation for wealth, there's another asset millionaires protect even more fiercely: their decision-making process. What separates the 6% of investors who consistently build wealth from the 94% who lose money in the stock market? The answer isn't about having better stock picks. It's about having a psychological framework that prevents the most expensive mistake in investing, making emotionally driven decisions. Benjamin Graham's The Intelligent Investor isn't just another finance book. It's the psychological armor that protects wealth during market chaos. Warren Buffett himself, after reading it at age 19, declared it by far the best book about investing ever written. This wasn't mere praise from a novice. It became the foundation that helped build one of history's greatest fortunes. The book's genius lies in a simple metaphor called Mr. Market, an imaginary business partner who shows up daily offering to buy or sell shares at prices that swing wildly based on his emotions. Sometimes Mr. Market is irrationally exuberant, offering absurdly high prices. Other days he's desperately pessimistic, offering fire sale prices for valuable assets. The millionaire investor understands this isn't a threat, it's an opportunity. What truly separates millionaires from average investors is their religious application of Graham's margin of safety principle. They never purchase an asset unless it's available at a significant discount to its intrinsic value, creating a buffer against both analytical errors and market downturns. This isn't just a technique, it's a disciplined commitment that prevents catastrophic losses while positioning them for substantial gains. Graham didn't create a one-size-fits-all approach. He carefully distinguished between defensive and enterprising investors, recognizing that investment strategies must align with an individual's knowledge, experience, and temperament. Defensive investors focus primarily on preservation and reasonable returns through diversification, while enterprising investors commit to deeper research for potentially higher returns. This self-awareness prevents investors from taking risks misaligned with their capabilities. Perhaps most critically, Graham's clear distinction between investing and speculating has saved countless millionaires from financial ruin. True investing involves thorough analysis of business fundamentals and purchasing at reasonable prices. Speculation, by contrast, focuses on price movements and market psychology. The average investor frequently drifts into speculation without realizing it, while the millionaire maintains unwavering discipline. When markets plummet and financial media screams disaster, most investors panic sell at the worst possible moment. The millionaire investor, guided by Graham's principles, does the opposite, seeing market crashes not as disasters but as rare opportunities to acquire quality assets at discounted prices. This counterintuitive behavior isn't easy, but it's precisely what builds fortunes over time. That disciplined mindset during market volatility isn't something that appears magically during a crisis. It's cultivated through hundreds of tiny, consistent actions happening long before the storm hits. While counterintuitive investment decisions during market crashes certainly contribute to wealth building, the real secret lies in what millionaires do during those ordinary, uneventful Tuesdays that most people waste. James Clear's Atomic Habits reveals a truth that transforms how millionaires approach wealth creation. Tiny, consistent behaviors compound into extraordinary results over time. What separates truly wealthy individuals from everyone else isn't their ability to make occasional brilliant financial moves, but rather their systematic approach to small, daily wealth-building routines that most people consider too insignificant to matter. When millionaires read Atomic Habits, they don't just apply its principles to fitness or productivity, they implement them directly to financial behaviors. One powerful strategy they adopt is habit stacking, linking new financial practices to established daily routines. Imagine checking your investment portfolio while drinking your morning coffee or reviewing your budget immediately after brushing your teeth. This approach bypasses the brain's natural resistance to new habits by attaching wealth-building actions to existing triggers, dramatically increasing consistency. Wealthy individuals also employ Clear's 2-minute rule specifically for financial discipline. Instead of attempting complete financial overhauls, they break wealth-building activities into tiny, manageable actions that take less than 2 minutes to initiate. A millionaire might commit to reviewing just one investment position daily, or spending exactly 2 minutes identifying a single unnecessary expense. This technique makes financial management less intimidating and more sustainable, creating the consistency that compounds over decades. The most transformative aspect of Atomic Habits for Wealth Builders is Clear's framework for designing environments that make good financial decisions almost automatic. Millionaires strategically structure their surroundings to support wealth-building behaviors, setting up automatic transfers to investment accounts, using apps that provide real-time financial tracking, or creating physical reminders of financial goals. This environmental design minimizes the need for willpower and maximizes the likelihood of maintaining financial discipline even during chaotic periods. Another key application is the adoption of identity-based habits, where wealthy individuals fundamentally shift how they see themselves. Rather than merely setting financial goals, they internalize identities as investors, wealth builders, or financially disciplined individuals. This identity shift makes consistent financial behaviors feel natural and aligned with their self-image, creating a powerful internal motivation that outlasts any external reward system. This identity shift towards seeing yourself as an investor creates lasting change, but Morgan Housel's The Psychology of Money reveals an even deeper truth. The greatest obstacle to wealth isn't your investment strategy, it's your psychological relationship with money itself. Two people with identical financial knowledge can achieve dramatically different results based solely on how they think about and approach financial decisions. What makes Housel's perspective so powerful is how it strips away technical complexities to focus on the behavioral foundation of wealth. The Psychology of Money demonstrates that sustainable wealth comes from mastering emotional responses to market volatility, personal spending decisions, and long-term planning, unlike most finance books that obsess over formulas and tactics. One of the most transformative concepts millionaires extract from this book is the principle that wealth is what you don't see. This radically shifts perspective from the visible trappings of success to the invisible power of financial freedom. The Ferrari in your neighbor's driveway might actually represent money they don't have, while true wealth often resides with the unassuming person driving a modest vehicle, their wealth silently compounding in investment accounts rather than depreciating in their driveway. The book brilliantly articulates why technical knowledge often fails to translate into actual wealth. Financial education typically focuses on mathematical optimization, the rational approach, while overlooking the psychological reality that humans make decisions based on emotions, personal history, and individual circumstances. Millionaires understand this distinction and prioritize financial peace of mind, what Housel calls reasonable decisions, over theoretically optimal but psychologically unsustainable strategies. The concept that getting money and keeping money are two different skills particularly resonates with those who build lasting wealth. Many professionals excel at earning high incomes yet struggle to maintain financial stability because they've mastered only half the equation. True financial success requires developing both the offensive skills of income generation and the defensive skills of preservation, a dual mastery that most financial education completely overlooks. Perhaps the most humbling insight millionaires take from this book is acknowledging luck's role in financial outcomes. This recognition cultivates both gratitude for fortunate circumstances and humility about personal abilities, qualities that protect wealthy individuals from the overconfidence that often leads to catastrophic financial decisions. This balanced perspective enables more rational risk assessment and promotes sustainable wealth-building strategies. The book's emphasis on prioritizing financial independence over maximizing returns has guided countless millionaires toward focusing on risk management rather than chasing the highest possible gains. This approach might seem counterintuitive. Surely more return is always better? But wealthy readers understand that consistent, sustainable returns that let you sleep at night ultimately create more wealth than volatile strategies that trigger emotional decisions during market downturns. And so we've explored 7 books that have transformed ordinary people into millionaires. But here's what really matters. These books won't make you wealthy just by sitting on your shelf. What separates millionaires from everyone else isn't knowledge acquisition, it's knowledge application. Think about this. Successful wealth builders don't just absorb information, they systematically integrate these principles into their daily lives. They transform these concepts into actionable habits and financial strategies. The books themselves are simply tools that require consistent, disciplined use. Remember this, without application, even the most profound financial wisdom remains merely interesting theory. The path to financial freedom isn't paved with good intentions or highlighted passages. It's built through the consistent application of principles that over time compound into extraordinary results.